Welcome everyone, my name is Jordan and we need to talk about WorldCoin because while everyone has been busy talking about artificial intelligence, the CEO of ChatGPT, Sam Altman, and a team of developers have been working quietly on a new global currency. What makes people so nervous about WorldCoin? Stay with us to find out. Before I introduce today's guest, excuse me, our favorite Irish crypto guru, here's what you need to know about today's sponsor. You can try and learn all about crypto by yourself, like I did, and you can get frustrated and confused and overwhelmed, like I did, or you can jump on over to Dear Crypto, a 30-lesson course created by myself and my co-founder Samantha Smith to help you understand the world of crypto. Dear Crypto was inspired by my own 100-day challenge to learn everything I possibly could about crypto. That is a journey that I shared on TikTok, and since then I have dedicated thousands of hours to learning about crypto, understanding the risk, and educating myself about how to embrace the opportunity. We'd love to see you over there. Let's crack on with the interview. We're very happy to welcome Tommy Honan, Head of Product at Swyftx, to chat with us today about where we're up to in the crypto market cycle, what we can expect to come, and of course we're going to talk about WorldCoin. How could we not? Tom is a highly respected player in the crypto community. We're very fortunate to have him here today. Tom, welcome to Dear Crypto.
Awesome. Thanks, Jordan. Thanks for having me back on again. It's much happier times, I think, now versus the last time we had a conversation, which was just post FTX, where the whole market was on fire and everybody was everyone was quite nervous and scared on what the future held for crypto at that time.
Yeah, I remember when I invited you on my channel to talk to my audience about that and just how nervous people were at the time. I think we had a lot of people join just because they were, worried that Swyftx could be next in line. I know there was a really painful period for Swyftx as well. Where is Swyftx now, and how have you recovered from that really tumultuous period in the crypto market?
Yeah, look, I mean, we're actually really good now. It's you see me here with a grinning like a Cheshire cat today. It's been a pretty much a V-shaped recovery in terms of the market itself. We've stated many times at Swyftx, we were not directly affected by FTX, which is, was obviously really positive for us. A lot of businesses had suffered, I guess, tremendous pain, and some, many businesses failed over, indirect and some indirect connections to FTX. So, luckily Swyftx, we were not one of those. We absolutely had indirect exposure, I guess. The crypto markets tanked. We had mass investor fear. We had trading volumes kind of falling off a cliff, and as an exchange, trading volumes are kind of what you need. They're the lifeblood of your business. I guess Swyftx itself, we went through a massive restructure. We had a kind of a failed merger with Superhero, an equities business out of Sydney. That was kind of a separate issue. But again, I guess it's framing where we're at right now. We're still here. We're still moving forward, and I think we've probably over the last few months found ourselves back in a period of growth, which is, if you asked me that the last time we talked, or even pre-Christmas, it was it was a pretty hard thing to imagine that you're moving back into a phase of growth for a company after what we've been through. So look, really, I'm really happy to be kind of on here tonight talking to your audience, and we are, I guess, we're really excited actually right now at Swyftx. Our team is, I've never seen our team so excited and motivated about the opportunity in front of us right now, which I'm sure we'll kind of unpack throughout the night.
Yeah, I mean, you say you've hit this period of growth at a time when, it still feels like we're in a bear market. We're still kind of waiting for the next bull cycle to arrive. Why is Swyftx so excited? What's contributing to that growth for you guys at the moment?
I think a lot of it is to do with, I guess, some of the macroeconomic factors. We've dealt with COVID. We've dealt with, I guess, all these macroeconomic factors like interest rate rises, housing market inflation. We're dealing with a lot of factors outside of the industry itself that are playing into some positive news now, whereas I think the previous 3 years it was largely negative. I know COVID itself had contributed. I mean, the assumption is COVID itself had kind of contributed quite heavily towards the growth across the crypto sector. But I guess now I think we've kind of reached a point where there's a certain amount of certainty back in the market. The surprises are not. Again, I'll say this, and next week something will come out that nobody has a clue about. But I guess the surprises seem to be shortening at the moment when it comes to crypto. We've seen some very bullish news out of the US with the BlackRock ETFs. That was obviously a big piece of news for the market overall. Coupled with some negative news around the likes of Binance and Coinbase and the SEC. We've seen XRP, which is obviously one of the people's currency, you could say, for a lot of people. Kind of provisionally, I guess, see a positive outcome from their case and being deemed a security or not. So I guess it's factors like these that I guess have kind of been hanging over in our mind, my mind especially, hanging over us in the crypto market and being a key indicator of kind of what happens next. Again, the market has, if you zoom out again back to January or December, everything was on fire, absolute middle of bear market. And I was at some conferences recently, Blockchain Australia, etc. And a lot of people still talk about us being right in the middle of a bear market right now, where for me, it doesn't really feel like it. I feel like we have passed the worst of it. That does not mean we won't retrace and I guess retest, some previous highs. If you look at like Bitcoin and Ethereum, for example, I think we're largely out of that pain point and kind of entering that growth phase. And that's kind of what I mean when I say, we're kind of feeling that way at Swyftx.
I feel like people right now are so worried about the cost of living crisis. We're looking at, paying mortgages and just being able to afford the cost of fuel and groceries and the stress that's coming from that. And to me, when I take a step back, I can see this extraordinary opportunity in investing in future technology and in digital assets, which really are the only two assets that have experienced, growth in amongst all of this economic uncertainty. Raoul Pal, the macro economist guru, came out recently and said that, property and stocks and gold haven't really moved that much and haven't really grown that much. Not only that, any growth that those traditional assets are signaling have just more come down to, like inflated prices and whatnot. And so I feel like, especially for people who are really in that rut and struggling, how can you encourage them to look at this opportunity? Who's buying crypto right now? And like, why is now just a good time generally to jump into the space?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of theories in crypto, right? So I guess let's just start there. One of the theories that I guess, I certainly subscribe to is the 4-year cycle theory. It doesn't play out perfectly every time, like nothing does in life, right? But I think largely, if you look back, like this will be my third, let's call it a bull run or crypto market cycle, right? Like you look at the cycles kind of traveling those 4 years every time. I entered kind of seriously in 2016 and say 15, 16 is when I kind of really ramped up my investing in crypto. I had the large run in 2017, which is obviously quite a hyperbolic kind of stage in crypto. Got a lot of retail interest. And then you went, post-COVID, we've seen that run, which is our kind of previous run that we're all coming down off that sugar rush or that high over the last 12 months. And I guess the opportunity right now is that we're actually in line with that 4-year cycle again. We have had our one down year in 4, which is how it's kind of played out. So again, I guess that's again it's for everyone to do their own research, and this is a great start for them listening to to you guys. But yeah, I guess that's part of my thesis when I do think I'm thinking longer term for crypto. I'm not investing to make money overnight. It's a 10 to 15 year plan, if not longer, for me personally. I know a lot of people use strategies like dollar cost averaging into the market, and you touched on mortgage stress. I know all about it myself. It's your payments monthly have gone 2.5x over the last 6 months, and that's if you're lucky for some people, right? So it is quite challenging. The people that are investing, I think, are largely still a lot of the people that were investing in the last run. They do see the opportunity. Everyone makes mistakes the first time they enter, and I guess that's what we're trying to minimize right now by having these conversations. And we are seeing a lot of new investors. We're seeing actually quite a strong uptake in your boomers, your older demographic as well. So they might have heard about crypto over the last few years and never dipped a toe in the water, as they say. And we've obviously seen a significant pullback. The prices are quite depressed versus what they were at the top of the market, and people see that as opportunity. And again, it's we talk about it a lot in with Pav on our podcast, Tapping Into Crypto, about just having that slow and steady approach to investing. More often than not, just it's the simplest and best strategy. Ben Simpson at Collective Shift is another guy that just talks about the simple investing strategies are the ones that will actually pay you the most dividends over time. And it's when we try and rush in and do things quick and have that kind of euphoric feeling is when we make most of our mistakes. And I've made plenty of those myself in the past.
Yeah, I did see I did see that news story that Ben Simpson mentioned he'd just hit a 7-figure crypto portfolio, and that's really thanks to this very steady approach to investing. And it actually inspired me, now that I'm back working a proper job and earning a wage, and every 2 weeks, that actually inspired me to set up a recurring order again with Swyftx and really just focus on that consistency in my investing strategy. And the fact that I can just set and forget. I don't have to think about it. I don't get emotional about it. I kind of hardly will go into my Swyftx app to check if I can help it. Even though I'm always curious to know, what's going on in the world of Swyftx and sort of what coins are performing well and what to look out for, which I think the app provides some great information around, what the market's doing. So I want to segue into WorldCoin, because as excited as people are about cryptocurrency, and we get all this bullish news and everyone's excited, and then something like WorldCoin comes along, which is a cryptocurrency, and it is this global standardized cryptocurrency that was developed by the CEO of ChatGPT, Sam Altman, and it's meant to be this globally accessible currency, and people are fearful of WorldCoin for a few different reasons, and I want to talk about this because WorldCoin wasn't super well known beyond those who observe the crypto news, but it has caused quite the stir. So my understanding is that to obtain WorldCoin, you have to provide biometric information, that is a scan of your retina, a scan of your eye. And there's a few reasons why they have programmed a global currency like this. And I want to go into those reasons. One of them is that this is meant to be a privacy-preserving digital identity to verify. Really struggling tonight.
That cold weather in Canberra is doing you no good.
I know. It goes from like really cold to really hot. So WorldCoin wasn't super well known beyond those who observed the crypto news cycle, but it's caused quite the stir after it launched recently. Can you tell us a little bit about WorldCoin? Because I noticed that Swyftx has listed WorldCoin on the exchange, but What is it and why are people so fearful of it?
Yeah, look, I think just to strip it back, I mean, if you just put the two words together, WorldCoin, and there's for a long time there's been an ideology that we can have a one world currency, and that's the first thing I guess I think about when I heard, when I started reading into WorldCoin. And like you said, we listed it on Swyftx recently, so you don't need to scan your retina right now to go and actually obtain it. You can buy it on the exchange. But I guess it's the main reason that people are fearful about this is, people are quite sensitive when it comes to their identity these days. you already mentioned Sam Altman, who's the current CEO of ChatGPT, which is obviously pretty much taken the world by storm over the last, call it 12 months, probably not even 12 months. He's actually the founder of WorldCoin and I guess the brain power behind it. They've raised a lot of money from some high profile investors like Kaisola Ventures and Bain Capital, who are pretty household names.
A16Z.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, the main, I guess, for me, there's a couple of questions there. It's, yes, people are sensitive about their identity, but also we have a huge problem that has potentially, you could argue that Sam actually created this problem with the advancements in AI technology. So we're already seeing things. It's fun. It's even on the exchange, we're seeing, we're getting scam phone calls are coming in from clients. People are getting their voices recorded from AI. People are getting obviously pictures are getting really easy for people to fake, and I guess the world of fraud is a really it's a really dangerous one when we think about AI and kind of where it could take it. And I think that's largely they're largely the main, I think, reasons why people are so sketchy on WorldCoin. Like requiring people to kind of to scan their retina to verify that they are human. That's essentially what it is. So this is kind of, and I think I mentioned it on the podcast during the week. Sam has kind of created the perfect problem, but now he's looking to create the perfect solution, and hoping that WorldCoin is that solution. So it is it's one to watch. It is like with any trailblazing type technology, people are always scared of it at the start, right? People are scared of the internet back in the 80s. There, I kind of put it into that bracket. I guess the question is like, is this guy going to be kind of, what Zuckerberg did for social media and the whole movement around social media? Is Sam Altman going to be the guy of the 2020 decade to kind of push that forward? I mean, it's it's definitely one we need to watch, and one that's really important, I guess, not just from an investment standpoint, but also from a from the human race standpoint, not to get too deep altogether.
The thing that interests me most about a project like this is that we know that the world is unfair. Obviously, people like you and I were extremely privileged. We live in Australia. We have adequate banking infrastructure and regulation and whatnot. Of course, bad things still happen, but not every national currency is as stable as ours. And this causes so much economic grief and so much financial uncertainty for many people around the world. And so I feel like WorldCoin is this, well, hey, what if we could give everyone access to this currency, no matter who they are, no matter where they're born, no matter what national currency they have to interact with every day. We're going to sort of give the world a clean slate. I think the thing that really I guess worries me a little bit is obviously, and what's different to say Zuckerberg creating, transforming social media and creating Facebook is, WorldCoin is money, and money is power. And, when you control money, you sort of control the world. And I suppose that's one of my more like philosophical concerns with something like WorldCoin. But I think that we were inevitably always going in this direction, especially, with the advent of Bitcoin. We're like, wow, we can create a currency that is globally recognized and can be used by anyone, anywhere, so long as they have the means to access it. Now, WorldCoin takes it one step further and makes it even easier to access. And another point as well is that, people like, why do they have to take our data, even though we all use face recognition to, get into our phones? So that, and there's an element of biometric, us giving up our biometric data in return for, technology anyway. But, people saying, why do we have to do it this way? And, I think a lot of people forget that over 50% of the world's population can't even meet the baseline KYC requirements to create a bank account. Like, I can't even imagine not having a bank account and how limiting that would be. So by creating this global currency that doesn't require KYC, WorldCoin is a way to include everyone, everywhere around the world. Like, it's pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, look, it's a movement. I would call it a movement. I guess, to call out again one of the risks you mentioned, it being, you mentioned Bitcoin, and I guess Bitcoin's one of the defining properties of Bitcoin is its like decentralized nature. So I guess with WorldCoin, it's the jury is still out when it comes to what that decentralization looks like. I know we'll probably touch on like the tokenomics of it in a sec as well, but yeah, it's probably the biggest worrying factor when it comes to the crypto native people that are hearing about this. And I'm already looking at social media, and people are not happy about it for a number of reasons. And it's, yeah, again, for me, it's just like people are scared of it right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, these things do change pretty quickly, and it's absolutely one to watch. But I mean, if you just do look at the tokenomics themselves, they have earmarked 75% of tokens to the community. So that's me and you. That's people, the investors, people that want to go and trade it, or people that want to hold it, and I guess do believe in the movement overall, and believe, I guess, that one day we will be using this as a currency in in any country we go to, essentially. 13.5% to investors of Tools of Humanity, who's actually part of building the project.
Okay.
9.8% the initial development team, which those guys have to get something, I guess, and 1.7% in reserve. So I guess to break it down for people listening, these tokenomics are quite positive when it comes to the risk of decentralization, the risk of, I guess, we use the word rug pull quite a bit and across episodes in crypto from time to time. So I guess the rug pull chances of a rug pull are a lot less in a project like this. Again, not saying that is not going to happen. Nobody can see the future, but that is an important thing, an important trait when you are assessing a new kind of groundbreaking project like this. The last thing you want is a really tight concentration of most of the value locked up from the founders or from the kind of initial founding team or developers, which is it's pleasing to see.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And thanks for sharing some information about the tokenomics. I think it's, in terms of assessing a cryptocurrency before you go ahead and buy it, if you're not, using technical analysis, or you're not technically like inclined and you can't understand half the white paper, actually just taking a moment to learn about tokenomics and how tokenomics work and indicators of good tokenomics versus bad can actually be quite beneficial. So I guess, in the broad scheme of things, it's good to know that, the tokenomics are sound for WorldCoin. And to your point of people being scared about WorldCoin, I posted a TikTok about it the other night and racked in probably like 380,000 views and, some 30,000 likes. And most people in the comments were genuinely really nervous and, likened it to Black Mirror. And I even likened it to Black Mirror in the TikTok that I made. But I think once you look at WorldCoin and what it's trying to achieve, it does start to make a little bit more sense. Now, they pledge that you only need to give away a scan or an image of your retina, that you don't need to provide personal information. But when I downloaded the app the other night, they asked for my phone number, and then I wanted to book like an orb visit to go and have my scan done, and they asked for my email. So I don't really understand quite how they're preserving privacy at this point.
Yeah, look, it's. I think actually one of the guys from the office said he did the same, but they don't have any orbs available to scan in Australia yet.
No, not yet.
That as well. Yeah. So I guess it'd be, I probably have a question for you. Is like, would you be happy to go and do an orb scan, or is it something that you're just kind of investigating right now to kind of seek information?
I think I'm still investigating, but I enjoy this. I enjoy being amongst new technology, and I think that given the fact that we already give away biometric data every day, and that this currency has, an identity and privacy preserving properties, then I think that I actually would like to at least go and check it out and become a part of it. Like, I am quite curious about it, and I like the idea of a global currency. I think people will like the idea of a global currency when they realize that maybe you can go traveling all around the world without having to convert, from currency to currency. Maybe that's how we need to articulate the utility of WorldCoin.
It's like anything else. When these things have simple and understandable use cases for the
Yeah.
everyday person, that's when you have an opportunity of kind of escape velocity or mass adoption. So until that happens, we're covering it now tonight, pretty early in its distance. Like, it's just launched this week, so it's going to be interesting to see if we're having a conversation in 6 months or 6 years about WorldCoin, to see where it has gone. But the technology itself has been built on top of Ethereum, which is
Yeah.
quite interesting. And I know you mentioned on the privacy. Ethereum, the Ethereum blockchain is visible and traceable. I'm not 100% on it, but I'm sure that there will be a privacy layer built on top of Ethereum to hide transactions or to mix transactions, if they're kind of touting that it is going to be I guess a traceless operation across payments and use of currency.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my understanding that they're going to launch a layer 2 that just,
Yeah.
scales on Ethereum. But I thought it was quite interesting as well that the actual world, it's a ERC20 token that runs on the Ethereum blockchain. So, yeah, likewise, I'm keen to reconvene in 5 years' time and see where our opinions land on WorldCoin. What 5 pieces of information should every crypto investor or every beginner have under their tool belt when it comes to observing the market and valuing cryptocurrency?
That's a deep one.
Big question for 6 p.m.
Finish that deep one. Look, I think it's the number one is always going to be having a trusted source of information. There's so much noise out there.
It's a great one.
We've talked about this before. There's YouTube channels. There's people with incentives to put you in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good way to probably frame it. Your information is absolutely being quite specific and doing your due diligence even on the information that you're listening or reading or watching, right? Like, knowing that you're going to a trusted podcast source, knowing that you're going to I guess a YouTube channel like what you have yourself, and actually, I guess, the means and motives and why you're doing what you're doing. I guess people don't spend enough time there. They're often just looking for the next shiniest object and the next best thing. So I guess that's information is absolutely key when I think about where people start their journey. I won't even talk about the exchange itself. Obviously we talk about Swyftx quite a bit. I've been working there for 4 years, but it is important to do your due diligence about where you actually start. A lot of the better exchanges will have a lot of information available as well, so it does help with that, I guess, ease of access, ease of use, and provide some of that information. When you're looking at coins specifically or tokens specifically, I think it's important to kind of understand what you want to get yourself from it. So do I want to take a gamble at something that's going to blow up in a week? Do I want am I actually being, I guess, genuine with yourself? Are you actually investing for longer term wealth? Is this another tool as part of your investing toolkit to create wealth? And a lot of people look at it quite differently when they get asked that question. You've got money in the bank. You've got some equities or ETFs. You've got a house. If you're lucky, you've got a house. Again, we were talking about that earlier, but a lot of these things are just getting out of reach now for people because of where we're at with the kind of current economic climate, which is it is quite sad. But I guess crypto still remains as this opportunity for the small guy to still have a chance at winning and I guess have a an alternative method to get there. And that's why we're here having this conversation tonight, and hopefully into the future we can have many more.
Definitely. What do the next 3 years look like in crypto from where you're sitting, and based on how many market cycles you've witnessed and been part of?
Yeah, look, I mean, I talked on the Bitcoin kind of or sorry, the crypto 4-year cycle before. I do believe we had our kind of our black swan events. I would say event with an S, events in 2022. The stronger companies, I guess, came through that. I wouldn't say unscathed, but definitely came through it and will be better and stronger for that. And I like to think we're one of those companies. The 4-year cycle I still prescribe to us. I guess the opportunity for me is that we're building now into the next 3 years of a bull market. It's not going to be straight line. It's not going to be easy. We're still going to see, massive volatility and pullbacks. That is the inherent nature of the crypto market until, and there's a caveat here, until we actually see, and I do believe over the next 3 years, we will see a regulations come into the market in crypto globally. So we've already seen licenses being introduced in the likes of Singapore, the UAE, and I think really recently in Europe with the MiCA license. So we're absolutely heading into a regulated world. We're heading into a world where I guess you don't have to just trust people as much. There will be insurance, there will be red tape and guardrails around certain investments. Yeah, that's not for everybody, but that's really where we're heading. I use the Pac-Man analogy as well. I think over the next couple of years we'll see a lot of Pac-Man play out where you see larger businesses going around eating up smaller ones. So I think we do, specifically in Australia, I think we have too many of the same type of business, and I think it's got to be a kind of a mass consolidation in that area as well. There's, Jordan, obviously there's a number of things that we don't know will absolutely have a massive influence on the market over the next few years. I guess one that we're pretty sure of is that regulation, that token mapping, all these exercises we're going through at a government level will play out over the next probably 24 months. So regulatory environment, the technological developments that we haven't even seen yet. I'm an advocate for opportunities within gaming. We're talking tonight about kind of AI and WorldCoin. There's a lot more going to come out. Institutional adoption is another big one that I think will be a key driver for the next cycle. And we talked about the BlackRock ETF and a number of other kind of true financial products that require large crypto holdings to be expanded. So there's kind of especially when you look at Bitcoin, we constantly see a shortening supply, and the demand just seems to continue to grow over time, especially when you zoom out.
Yeah, absolutely. I was trying to explain that to my dad the other night, who I'm currently trying to convince to get on the Bitcoin bandwagon. But some people take more convincing than others, and that's okay, because for people like us who understand the technology, the currency, the way it works, and I guess the value of cryptocurrency in the broader context of economics and excuse me, financial markets and such, that fight and that battle and that challenge is absolutely worth it at the end of the day. Tom, thank you so much for joining me this evening to catch up. I always enjoy catching up and always get so much value out of our conversations. Where can people find you if they want to connect with you and follow along with what's happening at Swyftx?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, follow everything Swyftx. You'll probably see me popping up in the chats across Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn as well, Tommy Honan on LinkedIn. I'm quite active there, and Twitter at Tom_Doombig, which is where I'm from in Ireland. For anyone playing at home, as Pav says. But look, I'm on kind of all those socials. We have our own podcast at Swyftx as well, which is called Tapping into Crypto, and we release episodes every Thursday morning. So we'll do a kind of a market update and then cover kind of the main news as well, which we need to get you on for an episode soon on that too, Jordan.
Tapping into Crypto is an awesome podcast, and I've had Pav Hundal on here before, and the two of you together, it's awesome. So thank you again, guys. Dear Crypto is our brand, and we're all here to understand what really goes on in the crypto space. You guys are what makes this community the most inclusive place to learn and explore Web3. So please, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe, and we will see you in the future. Bye for now.